What's up, guys? Welcome back. I am in full-blown prep mode for Riverside, Chattanooga, which is in just over a week now. Might as well be a week because next Tuesday, a week from today, I'm recording this on Tuesday, my buddy Aiden Templin is going to be in here in my shop with Mason's right-hand drive E36, doing a full paint correction and detail on it. I have volunteered my shop space to him. I'm not sure if Aiden's going to be filming that for his YouTube channel or not, but he has a great YouTube channel of mostly paint correction work, detail work, very therapeutic stuff he's got over there. So I'm in the middle of doing a lot of work here in the shop that I've been putting off because I've just been so busy. But since Aiden's going to be in here, I want the shop to look as good as it possibly can given the time I have. So I've moved my pallet rack and workbench down quite a bit, down closer to the 700, and I'm finally getting after the bench extension I want to make, which is basically this 30-inch tall shelf that I use as a workbench. I'm going to extend that out another 8 feet, only 30-inch tall. I've got a couple crossbars here that are 8 foot. These two guys right here. And you may have remembered when I first bought this pallet rack, I bought a third upright. So what I've done is I've taken this third 12-foot upright and I've cut the feet down to a 30-inch upright because this will be the end cap for the 30-inch high workbench I'm building. Now, when I cut that at 30-inch, because obviously this has feet on it, when I cut that at 30 inches, it was in the middle of one of these crossbars, and one of the top crossbars, the flat bars, was not anywhere in sight. So what I'm doing here, and I'm filming this halfway through this, I've got so much going on right now that I wasn't going to film any of this because I just simply don't have the time. So to sidetrack real quick, I'm working on 300 key rings for the Complex Union boys. Got a stack of their contour cuts here and some of their Alpine Motors key rings there. They're engraving as we speak. And I'm in the middle of also making some cream leather, Ludwig's Garage leather key rings. Super stoked on these. Making those for Riverside. I've also got some Ludwig's Garage tactical leather key rings that I'm making for Riverside. I've got some new walnut wooden clothes hangers that I'm going to laser engrave the Ludwig's Garage L logo on. I'm going to do that next. Lots of stuff. So much on the burners, including some of this commission work. I'm about to start on the Wookiees in the Woods wooden plaque awards as well. That's the week after Riverside, so I'm trying to get that done before next weekend as well. So anyway, I started this project while my machine ran and wasn't going to take the time to film it, but then I realized the last few episodes I've done have literally just been filler episodes, and now that I'm actually working on something in the shop, though it may not be cars, it's automotive related because it's in my shop. So what I've done is I have got my uprights cut to 30-inch. I moved this crossbar, which was much more at an aggressive angle, and ended up here somewhere in the middle because that usually continued to travel up. I've cut that off and moved it down, welded it in here, and I've also cut one of the top brace bars out of what's remaining of that upright, and I'm in the process of putting it in here. I've just tack welded it. I've measured out where I want it, just put some tacks in there on one side, and as you can see, I've got some clamps squeezing the actual upright in so I can weld the other side. Went and picked up another sheet of 4x8 3/4 inch MDF that I'm going to use. I'm going to rip it down and I'm going to use as the workbench topper. And I also bought a 10-foot 1x4 that I'm going to cut down for load bearing slats. So pretty excited about that. But like I said, I've just got so much going on that this was not on the plan or in the plans to do before Riverside. But since Aiden's going to be in here, if he's filming for his YouTube channel as well, this is my excuse to get it done. I'm also getting my washer and dryer out of here as well. I'm going to put a workbench in here that I just ordered. That's going to go next to the slop sink. All this stuff is getting hoed out. All right, it's the next morning. Got these welded on and kind of cleaned up last night before finally calling it a night. So these are good enough. I honestly didn't need the solid like weld up all the way around, but I just wanted to make them look like they were caps that were a part of the uprights to begin with. So now just gonna prep everything for paint. Gonna get this painted black and get the load bars painted black as well. Those have a bunch of adhesive like stickers on them and whatnot. So my machine is still running, currently on the Wookiees in the Woods awards. I sand these when they're done. So these ones here are obviously not sanded yet. Always a cool design each year. Abe puts together some really cool vector designs. All right, so I've painted the upright, got that painted black. I'm just spray painting stuff. I'm not balling out. I'd love to powder coat this stuff. That way it holds up much better. So now that the upright's done, I'm working on the load bars, and these are obviously not black. Same color as the ones that are on the pallet shelf. And this one, or this pair I should say, unfortunately had a lot of stickers and labels from whatever warehouse it was in before. I've got my heat gun out and I got this one off. You can still see the remnants of where they were. All right guys, next morning yet again, as I multitask in the shop, I am chiseling away at a whole bunch of stuff. Been working on the Wookiees in the Woods awards. So as we speak, I've got more engraving in the machine, and then I hand sand these when they're done. So these are all sanded, all blown off, ready to go. This will give you kind of like a visual as to how everything will look once I get the MDF cut and then painted. But this is kind of what I'm thinking. So I'll have workbench space here, but obviously 2 levels of 3-dimensional storage space. But obviously I've already had this as a workbench. This is a 3/4 inch piece of MDF that I roller painted and then put a heavy coat of polyurethane on, just so it's pretty impervious to what I might be working on. Still have some overhead lighting. And then the workbench will continue beyond this upright another 8 feet down to here. And so all I'm doing now is I'm getting my measurement, make sure it's pretty true from that end down to this end, and going to cut that piece of MDF, get that in there, make sure everything fits right, and then I'll cut my 1x4 pieces to act as supports. All right, so I didn't film painting the MDF or clear coating the MDF. It's done, it's put together. I'm under the gun, leaving for Import Alliance in Atlanta with the 700 tomorrow morning, but we're hitting the road at like 4:30 in the morning. It's about a 2-hour drive from here, but parking the 700 at the Bag Riders booth and need to be in when the vendors are loading up. So I'm gonna get hooked onto the trailer and get the 700 loaded up here shortly. It's Friday afternoon as I'm recording this now. So just wanted to get this done, get any of the metal work done, all the paint work done, any of the woodwork done, everything put together. I've got some 1x4s underneath for some support. I left a little bit of a gap. I could have contour cut this to fit tight to this crossbar, but I wasn't sure if I was gonna put anything on this bar, something that might clamp to it to hang any tools off the edge, or I wasn't sure what I was gonna do here. So I basically butted where the load bars meet the upright and left that vacant space there. But I'm super happy with it. Super happy with how this came out. When I first bought the pallet rack and used the bottom shelf as a workbench, I thought about doing this, but then I kind of opted out of it because I thought it was going to take up too much space. I thought it was going to be workbench overload, taking up too much space. But then I realized, as I've been getting going on some more projects here in the shop, I realized I need all the workshops, like surface space, as I can get as far as workbenches are concerned. This corner of the shop is going to have to wait until next week. As I mentioned before, Aiden's going to be here. I talked to him last night. He's actually going to be here on Monday, which I was hoping it was going to be Tuesday, as I originally thought. Tuesday was still going to be kind of a tight timeline. Monday's going to be tough to get this place looking exactly how I want it. I wasn't sure if I was going to, but I did end up taking the casters off my toolbox. When they're loaded, anyone who has a toolbox that size or much larger, you know how heavy they are when they're filled with tools. But I got the casters off and was able to get it slid underneath the workbench. I think it's a real compact look and good utilization of space, I think. Well, that's going to do it for this episode, guys. Just another quick shop update video, although not so quick. It's been really kind of over the course of the last 3 days with all the commission work I'm trying to chisel through on top of getting ready for Import Alliance tomorrow with the 700, and then Riverside next weekend with both cars, the booth, and all the merchandise. Massive thank you again to all of you guys who have joined the Patreon page. The support means so much to me. Really looking forward to keeping that rolling with some behind the scenes content and some news that I haven't really publicly talked about yet. The E24 project and the project that not everybody was really expecting that we're going to do with that car out in California. I've talked about that on the page, as well as posted photos of the new car I've acquired that's also out in California that I still have to figure out how I'm getting back here, hopefully in time to get finished for our Alpine Volks Fair, which is in Helen, Georgia, mid-May, which is about a month and a half away from now. So I'm going to be brainstorming that, hopefully coming up with a cool project idea for that car and possibly maybe driving it cross country back here to Chattanooga. I don't know yet. I might get it shipped. But subscribe to the Patreon page for all access to all of that news, as well as early access to a lot of this content, as well as the podcast, which I'm getting back into this next week. The studio's coming together. Aiden's going to be here. He's going to be on the podcast again. A lot of you guys have asked for another episode with him. I'm sure that's going to be nothing but laughs. And yeah, lots of stuff coming on the horizon. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next episode.